Hi, Dagmar reporting live from the Spiritual Healer, and I will join me today for health tidbits on who's the authority on your health. Anyway, I wanted to figure out here today real quick how to invite some friends while I'm online. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's beautiful. You can just go ahead and invite people. I love it. It's a new feature that I've learned. Yes. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and invite a few people here to join me on my health tidbits today, and okay, so invite a few people, and if you are browsing and you run across my video, it'd be great if you said hi. Would love to hear from you. Also, if you have any questions, that'd be awesome to just type them into the comment and ask. Anyway, who is the authority on your health? Well, we've come from a time where, we listen to all the experts out there, right? We've listened to them, and doctors and naturopaths and, whoever the experts are in your life in terms of our body, our health. And, we tend to believe everything that comes through the sewer pipe into our living room. And I'm referring to the television, in case you don't know. But I'm here to say that you are the expert in your health, okay? Your higher self, your spirit knows you best. Your body knows itself best, okay? You are the authority on your health. And so why is it that we don't listen to ourselves nearly as much as we listen to all the experts, so to speak, out there, who apparently know us way better than we know ourselves, right? And I recently had, once again, a good lesson through my own experience in terms of listening to myself once again. And I will share that with you. Also, stick around to the end of this little video. I will do actually a little bit of a card reading for you at the end. So I have some, goodies for you at the end of the video. Anyway, so yeah, why do we listen to all these experts and we don't nearly listen to ourselves very much, right? And perhaps we've forgotten how to listen to ourselves, right? Because in essence, your higher self has your highest good in mind always, will never lead you astray. Your body knows what it wants, right? Well, I would introduce to you the concept of muscle testing, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, perhaps already doing it. And if you haven't heard of muscle testing, it's a great way to communicate with your body and allow your body to communicate back to you in a yes and no questions and answers in terms of what is going on with you. Because I'm here to tell you that all the answers are within you. Now, this is the premise I use in my healing sessions with people, because while I facilitate the healing with you as a client, I help you go within and listen to yourself and to your subconscious to derive at the answers. And, so all the answers are within yourself. It's a question of accessing them, and also believing and trusting yourself and listening to yourself, etc. So anyway, it's important, for you to recognize and acknowledge yourself as the expert in your field, which is you. You are your field, okay? And, the thing is that we, don't ask ourselves, or don't ask questions, or don't question things nearly enough in life. And, why is that? I don't know. Again, we're believing everything that comes out of that sewer pipe in our living room. For God's sakes, who knows why we believe that. But why not question things? Like, for example, why is every other person diabetic in this country? Was that always the case? I don't think so. Okay. And why are we having this problem in our society today? Or why is there all of a sudden, you know, a gastrointestinal specialist on every goddamn corner in the city? You know, we never used to have all these gastrointestinal problems. Why is that? Why are we having all these gastrointestinal problems these days? Okay. And why, like, for example, when I first came out to the United States, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm, you know, I've traveled a lot. I traveled the world at a very, very young age. And never, ever have I seen anywhere in the world such obesity to the extreme that it is in the United States. And I'm talking every country has obesity problems. That's not the case here. But, you know, to such extreme, you know, of like, you know, 500 pounds, or I'm like, how does that happen? You know, why? How does a person get to that point? You know, what is the problem here? You know, and initially I thought to myself, well, gee, you know, it's the sugar, right? As I started asking myself that question, trying to figure out in my mind, why is that? You know, I don't understand, you know. And it is a known fact that the United States consumes, in fact, 20 times more sugar than any other country. However, I don't think the sugar is the primary problem here. And even though the sugar is maybe a large contributor to our problem, but it is not the primary problem, in my opinion, anyway. Hi, Sally. How are you? Thanks for joining. Say hi. You know, anyway, I am talking about, you know, sugar consumption in the United States at the moment. And so sugar is just a highly consumed product in the U.S. And, you know, what was amazing to me is that, for example, you look at, you know, ham, and you look at the ingredients, and they added sugar to ham. Now, why are they adding sugar to ham, right? Or why is there added sugar in peas in a can? And there's sugar added everywhere. And, you know, you just got to read those ingredients. But sugar, I don't think, is the primary problem here. I think the primary problem over years of observation and looking at things and filtering them through my understanding of things, I figured out finally for myself that it's really the chemicals that are the problem. And I'm talking chemicals specifically, you know, drugs prescribed by doctors, medicines, and so forth, okay? Hi, Erica. How are you? Thanks for joining. Say hello. Anyway, so, yeah, so the drugs are actually a huge problem these days that we get prescribed, the medications, including when we have surgeries. And so, you know, that's what causes, I think, a lot of the problems that we have today, including diabetes, for example, you know. But, yeah, so we're talking about who's your authority on your health, you know, and I'm here to say that you are the authority on your health. You, you know, have your higher self has the highest good in your mind. Your body knows yourself the best. And why are we listening to all the experts out there when we have all the answers within ourselves? And it's about learning how to listen to ourselves again and really filtering information. And there's nothing wrong with talking to experts, okay? Don't get me wrong on that. But why not filter that information through our own mind, our own understanding, through our own hearts, in terms of whether that makes sense to us or not, all right? And why not ask ourselves more questions out there as to why things are the way they are, and start questioning things, you know? Because that's how we learn, right? That is exactly right. They're just treating the symptoms, making us sicker in our society, you know. And it's becoming more and more prevailing. I do believe that a lot of people are keep waking up more and more to what's happening out there. And I think it's awesome, you know. And we need to come back to ourselves and reconnect with ourselves and our spiritual guidance. Because like I say, your higher self has your highest good in mind. knows your journey, knows you better than anybody else out there. Okay, so why not communicate with ourselves? Why not trust ourselves and listen to ourselves? Okay. And one form I mentioned earlier is through muscle testing, for example. It's an easy way to really communicate with our bodies. And if you don't know how to muscle test, ask somebody or have a session with me. I'll teach you how to do that. But it saved my life on a number of occasions, muscle testing, okay? And I'm going to share with you my recent experience I had with a naturopath, actually, which was interesting. That I went in for to have a kidney stone, basically get rid of a kidney stone, my ureter. And, you know, she did a lot of detox and so forth and herbal stuff with me. And it was great. It got rid of my kidney stone. It got rid of gallbladder stones, etc. But after about a year, and I was trying to follow her protocol to the T so that I, you know, would get the maximum benefit. And but after about a year, I found myself, she ran my entire immune system into the ground, because apparently she didn't know that when you're on herbs for any great length of time, they can actually turn against you. And I started having allergic reactions to certain herbs. And I mean, I felt, you know, like I joined the living dead, basically. Okay. And so, yeah, and I, you know, until a friend of mine, you know, kind of shook me out of my stupor of trying to follow this woman's protocol. And I started muscle testing myself on everything I was taking, everything I was doing. And that's how I discovered that it wasn't the virus that she claimed I had, but in fact, I was having highly allergic reactions to the herbs, some of the herbs all of a sudden, okay? And that can happen if you're on any given herb for any great length of time, because in herbs, you're supposed to take breaks, all right? And so, you know, she had me doing this stuff for a year with no end in sight. So anyway, I learned my lesson quite well, again, to listening to myself. And, you know, I'm finally starting to actually recover from all of that, including trying to recover my immune system. And I have discovered a really fabulous product, actually, that was referred to me by someone that I am really excited about in terms of taking right now to help my immune system to get restored, because I had actually a procedure in the hospital to remove a kidney stone 3 years ago, and that really did me in. Okay, not to mention the fact that I had a knee surgery back in 2001, and I'm realizing that a lot of my problems afterward, like, again, allergies, you know, parasites, candida, all that stuff had been from the surgery I had, from the full anesthesia and the antibiotics. And so, you know, I got to say, I mean, you know, if you think about it, if you have a house in the country and you have your own sewer system, what is the one thing they tell you not to do in order to preserve the functionality of the sewer system? Anybody? What's the one thing they tell you to do? Or not to do, I should say. Don't pour any chemicals in your sewer system, right? Because why? It destroys the good bacteria and the sewer system stops working. Well, it's the same with your gut system, all right? And unfortunately, or fortunately as it is, once you destroy your gut system, there goes your immune system, there goes all kinds of diseases, or, you know, contract all kinds of stuff and diseases because your body isn't functioning correctly. Your gut system, your immune system is like the central system of all of your functionality. So anyway, the one product that was really recommended to me by someone recently is colostrum. And I don't know if you guys heard of it or not, or know what it is, but it's basically the pre-milk the mother has for her baby. It's kind of a liquid that basically helps the baby build its immune system, okay, and everything that it needs for life. And I'm not talking about human, I'm talking about bovine or cow's colostrum in this case, because you can actually get that in like powder form or pill form. And it's an amazing product because it does amazing things. It, one, helps your immune system, rebuild your immune system. It restores your gut health. So if you're having problems with like Crohn's and IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and leaky gut syndrome, all that stuff, colostrum actually can restore that back to its normal health, from what I understand. Okay. Now, this is all research I've done online. So if you don't believe me, please do your own research. You know, again, you be the authority on your health, right? Who's the authority on your health? You are, right? And as Faith Young would say, you feel me? And type in below, if you feel me, say, I feel you, Dagmar. I am the authority on my own health. So type in, I feel me, if you feel me. All right. So anyway, it restores your gut health. It actually helps with diabetes. It helps with autoimmune disorders, which are like arthritis and, you know, allergies and even asthma and stuff like that. I actually am realizing that because of the allergic reactions when I went through this whole detox for this whole year, I started having problems with basically allergy is autoimmune disorder, but also my whole system being overreactional, so reacting too much, in other words, and so it's attacking itself, and it's causing me inflammatory problems, including in my joints, you know, including my hip and my right side of my thumb, and so all those autoimmune disorders, and basically this colostrum product can help calm your system down and restore it to some normality, from what I understand, which is really great. It can also help heal tissue and repair and help you with injury recovery and such factors. So I am really excited about that because I had lost a ton of muscle in my hip years ago during that procedure I had actually at the hospital with the kidney stone removal, because they put a stent in me for like 4 weeks and they had to do it twice, remove the stone. And I could barely walk on the right side, and thus I lost a ton of muscle. On top of it, they gave me Cipro, which is one of the neuroantibiotics, I guess, that destroys your DNA repair cells and attacks your muscles, so you can't really store your muscle tissue, which hopefully this colostrum will actually repair, which would be absolutely fantastic. And I'm really excited about that. So there's a lot of factors. It can actually, they talk about influenza, colostrum, both in health subjects and high-risk cardiovascular patients, is at least 3 times more effective than vaccination in preventing flu. And it's very cost-effective. So get that, you know, forget flu shots. Get on colostrum, and they're actually, colostrum is actually healthy for you, whereas flu shots have more chemicals and crap in it that basically is designed to destroy your health. So anyway, this colostrum also is supposed to help weight loss. There are studies that people use it for fitness purposes because it helps strengthen your muscles and does all kinds of interesting stuff, helps you stamina, shortens recovery time. So it's just fabulous product. And also apparently it detoxifies. It's antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-candida. So it takes care of all of that. And so, you know, I totally highly recommend it. I'm actually trying it out. I'm on it my very first week, and I'm starting to feel the difference, which is totally amazing. And, you know, the person who recommended this product for me, he had an ulcer for like all his life since he was a child. And in 6 months, it completely cured his ulcer. So anyway, colostrum for you. And a few health tidbits. Hi, Dana. How are you, girlfriend? Talking about who is your authority on your health today. And I'm here to tell you that you are your authority on your health. And if you feel me, type below, I feel you, Dagmar. And let me know that you understand that you are the authority on your health, nobody else. You know, in spite of all the experts out there, it's up to us to decipher what's good for us and what isn't. And we do know that. You know, our higher self knows that. Our body knows that. And there's ways and methods to communicate with ourselves, to start listening to ourselves and start really learning, what it is we need, to get ourselves healthy. I do believe that put in the right environment, our body is just very resilient and can pretty much heal itself. But of course, there is also the spiritual aspect to things, and we do create some of our own diseases, if you will, from a spiritual angle. And so sometimes we have to also go after the cause of it in the spiritual field so that we stop creating whatever dysfunction in our body. But at the same time, our body also sometimes needs help from the physical level, to recover. So there's both aspects to it. There's the spiritual, there's the physical. All right, you got to work it from both angles sometimes. And, I do believe that we as a society are on our way to a much healthier us, just because we are moving into higher vibrations, and the higher vibrations, there is more health in the higher vibrations. Sicknesses are primarily in the lower vibrations in our spiritual self. And so the higher you rise in vibration, the more health you will experience. Now, there's, of course, things you can do to actually rise in vibration or not. Some of us will stay in the low vibration, and it's your choice. But overall, as a society on this planet, as all beings, we are attempting to rise into a high vibration. So that's why we talk about these things. That's why so many people are waking up to, health issues. That's why we're much more interested in organic foods and what we eat and all that good jazz. It's all of us are pulling in that direction. So, so I hope some of this information helped in terms of, listening more to ourselves and being the authority on our own health. There's nothing wrong, by the way, with listening to experts, but let's filter it through your own common sense. What do you resonate with? Question things. Why not question things? I mean, why believe everything that's being told to you, right? You can do your own research. And with all the information that I'm giving you here, that's what I want you to do, is I want you to do your own research. Don't believe me, okay? Do your own research. See what makes sense to you. And so, question things, which reminds me of this cute little joke. There's this boy who keeps asking his father questions, right? And he asked his father on the beach or something, and he asked his father, "So, Dad, how many pebbles of sand are there on the beach?" Dad goes, "Oh, I don't know. How am I supposed to know that?" Then he asked father, next question, "Oh, Dad, why is the sky blue?" That's like, "Okay, son, I don't have no idea. I don't know." And son comes with another bizarre questions. Dad's again, "I don't know, son." But he says, "But son, make sure and keep asking those questions, because if you don't ask them, you will not learn anything." Okay. So anyway, keep asking those questions. All right. Because the only way you're going to get answers if you ask questions. And so we're kind of at the end of my little talk about who's the authority on your health. And I promised to do a little card reading at the end. So I'm going to do that today with some animal spirit guides, messages from them, to see what is the message for you today from these animal spirit guides. Let's see what comes up as a message specifically for you from these beautiful animals over here. All right, so, we got the panda. And the panda over here, let's see if you can see it. Here's the panda. All right, so the panda says, Create a sacred space for yourself in your home and or place of work. Oh, how fun is that? We all need our little sacred space for ourselves, right? So let's see what the little booklet said about Panta's little sacred space. 83. The sacred space is an area in your home or workplace where you can have some privacy for contemplation, meditation, or simply a bit of quiet time to think. If this isn't possible to do at work, it becomes even more imperative that you provide this for yourself in your home. This is a space that is your territory, whether it's an entire room or a corner of your living room or bedroom. Place a cozy chair or pillow there and then set up a simple altar, one that contains a few pieces that are both personal and precious. Include a candle in your space that you can light when you're abiding there. Make your sacred space a comfortable place to hang out with no agenda or compulsion to do anything. As Buddha said, don't just do something, sit there. You may find all sorts of reasons or excuses not to do this, but don't cave in to these internal objections. Make it important enough for your emotional and mental health and balance to create this kind of private spiritual sanctuary. Be sure to do nothing in particular for a good period of the time while you're there. The increasingly rapid pace of life and growing intensities in the world are even greater cause for doing so. It's a place for solace, one where you can more closely listen to your inner voice and feelings and tap into the life force inside that's expressing itself to you. Well, how appropriate of a card, you know? Here's spirits playing with us, okay? Do you see that? You know, the card we pulled is about creating a sacred space. I'm talking about you listening to yourself or learning how to listen to yourself. Well, how do you do that best than going inside of yourself and do some meditation? Or just sit there and think and contemplate, or do some muscle testing, and start listening to yourself, because you have all the answers within you, my friend. And so to conclude today, I want to just mention that I also am co-hosting a workshop on Saturday with Ann Seek on relationships. And it's called Twin Flames, Soulmates, and How to Change Your Partner. I Love You, Now Change. And we'll be doing some teachings in terms of mirrors, dynamics in relationships, how to identify what it's really all about, in terms of when we fight, when we have discord with each other. And I'll be actually doing some healing work, meditative healing work with the group, also to help you shift some of this energy. And Ann's going to be teaching about the 5 love languages, the 7 keys to effective fighting with each other and communicating and so forth. And it's going to be a blast. It's a 4-hour workshop coming up again this Saturday, February 10th. If you're interested in knowing more, please PM me and I'll send you information about it. And I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed today's little talk on Tidbits from Dagmar on health. And I will talk to you guys soon. You have a wonderful day. See you guys later.